Top interview question answers for freshers. 1. Tell us about yourself. This is an often asked fresher interview question, and its purpose is for the interviewer to observe the candidate's demeanor and confidence in describing themselves. The best way to answer is usually by briefly speaking about your family history and education. Example: I was born in New Jersey, to a family consisting mostly of teachers. I'm a hardworking individual with a winning mentality, and I always look for creative solutions to difficult challenges. 2. What are your biggest strengths? The interviewer typically asks this question to see the area where you are most confident in. However, you have to be able to find the right balance between showing belief in yourself and not seeming overconfident. Example: I am very good at mathematics and anything numbers related. This is why I started to get into coding, and I am already a fairly experienced Node.js backend developer. 3. What are your biggest weaknesses? This question usually either follows the previous one or the two are mixed together. You should think of various shortcomings that you have and that you are willing to work to overcome. They shouldn't be directly linked to the responsibilities of the job you are applying for, however. Example: I sometimes have difficulties with time management and I end up spending much of my personal time working or studying. However, this is something that I constantly work on, with better results each day. 4. What are your hobbies? Asking about your personal time is a way for the interviewer to see what kind of personality you have and how you unwind after work. You should show enthusiasm when you answer, but also reassure the interviewer that your passions are not likely to interfere with your work. Example: my biggest passion is basketball. A knee injury kept me from trying out for my high school team, but I play as often as I can. I believe sports keep you physically and mentally healthy while instilling discipline in you. 5. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Interviewers ask this question to test an applicant's forward planning and loyalty to the hiring company. Although it may be difficult to answer this question as a fresher, it's best to do so by mentioning how you have high ambitions for the future and how the company you are interviewing for can help you achieve them. Example: 5 years from now I hope to be a successful sales professional working for your company. I believe this job can help me improve my skills and kickstart my career. 6. Why do you want to work with us? This is a way for the interviewer to see how much you know about the organization. The best answer is typically one that underlines the company's strengths and how they can help your career. Example: I want to work for this organization because of its excellent track record in providing quality services and loyalty to both customers and employees. I think your high standards can push me to be better and your promotion policies can help me have a long and successful career here. 7. Why should we hire you? This question aims to evaluate how you perceive your own skills and how confident you are in your own abilities. The best way to answer this question is to mention the skills and qualities you have that would be helpful for the job you're applying for. Example: I am very good with numbers and have an almost obsessive attention to detail, so I think I am very well suited for the role of junior accountant at your company. 8. What do you know about our organization? This question helps the interviewer see how thorough your research was before attending the interview. The best way to answer is by preparing for it and giving an answer that convinces the interviewer that you are prepared for the interview and understand the company's business model. Example: I know you started with 4 employees in 1996, but gradually grew in the years since then, mainly due to your total commitment to customer satisfaction and cost reduction. I also know that you plan to increase your turnover by 20% in the next 3 years by going into new markets and geographical territories in South America. 9. What are your wage expectations? This question typically appears after the interviewer has concluded that you may be a good fit for the role. The best way to answer is typically by not giving an actual number and at the same time reiterating how grateful you would be to get the job and how well you would perform. Example: It is a very difficult question to answer from my position, as my lack of workplace experience prevents me from knowing exactly what the market is for this role. However, it would be a huge career step to work for your organization, and I am sure my skills and determination can be beneficial to the team. 10. What is your motivation for doing a good job? Interviewers ask this question to test your willingness to stay with the company over the long term without losing your motivation. You should mention an internal or external factor that keeps you motivated to perform and to succeed. Example: I am motivated by success, as I know how rewarding it can be. I also know it doesn't come overnight, and to have a good career in this industry, I have to work hard every day and gradually improve my skills. 11. Are you a team player? Most jobs require some kind of collaboration between employees, so this question is a way for the interviewer to test this skill. Ideally, you should not only answer with a yes, but also give an example or explain why you can function in a team situation. Example: Yes, I am. I have been playing basketball and hockey since age 7, and over the years I learned that, no matter how good you are at something, you need to work with a team that is more than the sum of its parts. 12. What are your long-term goals? In a similar way to the question about where you see yourself in 5 years, the recruiter asks this question to see how far into the future you have planned out your life and how likely you are of being a long-term asset for the company. Example: My long-term goal is to work in a management position. One of the things that attracted me to your company is the fact that you tend to promote from within. 13. How good are you at handling pressure? The interviewer asks this question to test your composure in difficult situations and to discover how pressure may affect your job performance. Simply stating that you are good at handling pressure is not likely to convince the interviewer, so the best way to answer this question is by giving examples of situations where you were faced with pressure and managed to handle it. Example: I think pressure helps me stay focused and prioritize things. For example, in my final year of high school, I was pressured to finish the school year with high marks, prepare for college, and keep performing my extracurricular activities at the same time. The pressure helped me organize my tasks and pushed me to succeed on all 3 fronts. 14. When can you start? When can you join the company? Although it may seem so, this question is not an invitation to join the company, but simply a way for the interviewer to see if you have other commitments preventing you from starting right away should you get the job. Unless you have other activities that prevent you from doing so, you need to express your willingness to start right away without seeming overeager. Example: I can start immediately. I organized my priorities to be sure that, should I get this position, I have the time to do it. 15. What is your ideal job? Recruiters ask this question to see how your ideals line up with the job you are interviewing for. You should avoid mentioning any job that is completely unrelated to the one you are after right now. Example: I always wanted to manage a large company or department and make tough decisions on a daily basis. I think this company can offer me that someday. 16. How flexible are you regarding overtime? Some companies require their employees to occasionally put in extra hours and work late nights or weekends. Assuming you are willing to do that, you should express your desire to help the company when needed. If you are not willing to do it, you should mention it politely and honestly. Example: I am comfortable with helping out in difficult situations once in a while, but I have some family commitments and I usually prefer to maintain a healthy work-life balance. 17. Who do you think are this company's biggest competitors? This question not only shows how much research you did on the hiring company, but also how familiar you are with the entire industry it operates in. Ideally, you would have done your research, and the best answer is typically a brief description of the organization's biggest rivals. Example: As far as I know, Cybersmoke Systems have the biggest share of the market after yours, followed by Hollow Communications. I also noticed a startup named OSB Tech who is quickly gathering market share. 18. What kind of environment do you expect at our organization? The recruiter asks this question to discover how well the employee knows the organization's culture and how well they'd integrate. The best way to answer this question is to research the company and discover some of its characteristics, while also stating your flexibility. Example: I am expecting an open space office situation, with everyone working separately, but also collaborating on various projects. That being said, I am very flexible and adapt quickly to any work situation. 19. Are you willing to relocate for work? The purpose of this question is fairly obvious, to find out if the candidate is willing to move to a different geographical area. If the answer is yes, you should state so emphatically. If the answer is no, you should be truthful, but also show openness to the possibility of relocating in the future. Example: I would love to work for you, but unfortunately, I can't relocate at this time due to some personal circumstances. However, I would definitely consider it in the future. 20. What are your short-term goals? This question helps the recruiter determine how much you want the role. You should provide an answer that ties your goals to the role you are applying for. Example: over the short term, my main goal is to find a job with great career prospects. 21. Do you have any questions for us? This is a commonly asked question and usually comes at the end of the interview. The best way to answer is to research the company beforehand and have one or more questions prepared. Example: can you tell me what my everyday tasks would be and who would I be reporting to? 22. What do you know about this job profile you applied for? This question asked shows the candidate's awareness, and in-depth research is done on the job profile, the responsibilities of the position, skills required, company expectations, etc. So, answer wisely and do your research well before the interview and highlight all the required points while answering. 23. How did your experience in the internship prepare you for the role you are applying for? This question is for candidates who have done any internship related to the job they are applying for. If you haven't done any internship, then don't worry, HR wouldn't ask you this question. But if you have done internships, highlight your experience and the work you get to do. Answer: during my internship, I got to work on different projects, from which I learned A, B, and C skills which can help me excel at my work in the role I'm applying for. And the experience I gained during my internship prepared me as a professional and sharpened my communication and collaborative skills. 24. Can you tell me how your course education prepared you for this job? While answering this question, you can highlight any projects or group work you did that taught you something new. This will highlight your theoretical knowledge and teamwork. Answer: I worked on various projects with my classmates and by myself too. During that time, I learned to put my theoretical knowledge into practical work to get results, and working in a team taught me to take collective responsibility as a team and as a member of a team, which I think will also help me perform well in this job position. 25. Are you planning to pursue higher studies? HRs ask this question from the freshers to know whether they are planning to stay in the company or would work for a while and leave. However, lying is never a solution, so answer the question truthfully. Answer: if you are planning to pursue a higher degree, give them a reason and how it may and may not affect your job. If you are planning to pursue a degree from a distance course, tell them so, and inform them how doing this course can help you excel at the work front. Also, discuss leaves you might need, etc.